Tucker Carlson has a new conspiracy theory about who was actually responsible for the January 6th Capitol riot. Not Trump supporters, but apparently the FBI. Take a look.
For example, one of those unindicted co-conspirators is someone government documents identify only as Person 2. According to those documents, Person 2 stayed in the same hotel room as a man called Thomas Caldwell, an insurrectionist, a man alleged to be a member of the group the Oath Keepers. Person 2 also, quote, stormed the barricades at the Capitol on January 6th alongside Thomas Caldwell. The government's indictments further indicate that Caldwell, who, by the way, is a 65-year-old man, this dangerous insurrectionist, was led to believe there would be a, quote, quick reaction force also participating on January 6th. That quick reaction force, Caldwell was told, would be led by someone called Person 3, who had a hotel room and an accomplice with him. But wait, here's the interesting thing. Person 2 and Person 3 were organizers of the riot. The government knows who they are, but the government has not charged them. Why is that? You know why. They were almost certainly working for the FBI. So FBI operatives were organizing the attack on the Capitol on January 6th, according to government documents. And those two are not alone. In all, Revolver News reported that there are, quote, upwards of 20 unindicted co-conspirators in the Oath Keeper indictments, all playing various roles in the conspiracy, who have not been charged for virtually the exact same activities, and in some cases, much, much more severe activities, as those named alongside them in the indictments. Huh? So it turns out that this white supremacist insurrection was, again, by the government's own admission in these documents, organized at least in part by government agents. Are you shocked? We're shocked. We shouldn't be shocked. Because in March, the FBI director admitted that the Bureau is infiltrating as many dissident groups that oppose the regime as it possibly can.
Hey, wow, that's an interesting theory. You know what helped us get to the bottom of this? A January 6th commission. Just saying, it might help just a little bit. Okay, all right. So, look, Tucker Carlson's a genius. Not because he's right, okay, but because he knows just how to manipulate his audience, just how to convey the message in a way, basically to craft this narrative around whatever kind of bullshit conspiracy he wants and make people second guess themselves and actually make them like buy into this narrative. He's really good at this. By, of course, asking suggestive questions with no basis in evidence, and then treats the answers that he likes as facts. And again, he does that in order to build a narrative, despite the fact that the answers he gives to the questions are not based in actual facts. For one, of course, according to Carlson, Person 2 and Person 3 were organizers of the riot and apparently were part of the FBI, according to him. He says the government knows who they are, but have not charged them because they're FBI or law enforcement, meaning that, to him, the FBI wouldn't arrest their own people. So by extension, those same people, he says, started the riot and lured the rest of the pro-Trump crowd, which is actually secret Antifa, into doing crime. Now, think about that for a second. Just digest that just a little bit. And think about this, right? So, say the MAGA patriots that were there, if they weren't all secret Antifa, because they can't keep their conspiracy straight. So those people were there, led by secret FBI agents to do crimes, and so therefore, it's the FBI people that are bad, and they're the ones who organized it, and those are the ones who should get in trouble. What about the people who actually also did the crimes? Did you leave those people out? Because, being influenced to do crime, you still did the crime. So, that doesn't absolve you if you were influenced by a secret agent. Now, another important point is that actually, no, we don't know who these unindicted co-conspirators are. And we don't know that they're FBI. He's saying, oh, yeah, no, they're totally FBI. No, they're not. It's a real nice theory, again, for people who have no idea how this actually works. Legal experts actually say that the government cannot name an undercover agent as an unindicted co-conspirator. In fact, Jens David Olin, a criminal law professor at Cornell, said there are many reasons why an indictment would reference unindicted co-conspirators, but their status as FBI agents is not one of them. Lisa Kern Griffin of Duke University added, undercover officers and informants can't be co-conspirators for the purposes of establishing an agreement to violate the law because they are only pretending to agree to do so. An unindicted co-conspirator has committed the crime of conspiracy, and investigative agents doing their jobs undercover are not committing crimes. So, okay. So, basically, you can't go undercover and do crime. If you did, you'd be a criminal, and you would be indicted as a criminal. The logic really doesn't add up here. But again, that's why it's a conspiracy. So then why might someone be indicted as a co-conspirator? Or I'm sorry, an unindicted co-conspirator? Well, it's because, for one, and there's several different reasons. One, the government doesn't actually know who they are. Oh, okay. The government might also not have sufficient evidence to indict them and wants to avoid impugning their reputations or compromising an ongoing investigation. That's another reason. Or they have secured leniency from the government for cooperation with investigations into others. So now, that last one, we actually have an example of that. Founding member of the Oath Keepers, John Ryan Schaefer, has actually agreed to cooperate with law enforcement. Not only that, but in the Caldwell incident that Tucker Carlson talks about, it literally references one by name. It says Oath Keepers are led by person one. That person is identifiable as Stuart Rhodes. Stuart Rhodes, head of the Oath Keepers, is not an FBI agent, not a government agent at all. And again, there is reason to believe that one of the two unidentified co-conspirators Carlson actually talked about might actually be Caldwell's wife, who was literally there taking pictures with Caldwell inside of the Capitol. So seriously, Caldwell in person too, according to the report, took 2 selfie photographs of themselves in the balcony and other areas of the perimeter of the Capitol. Fun. The Washington Post also reported that Caldwell posted images to Facebook while writing, "Us storming the Capitol, the castle. Please share. Sharon, his wife, is right with me. I'm such an instigator." Now, Caldwell's wife has not been openly charged with a crime and was not otherwise referenced in the indictment, despite being present near him, meaning that she could be considered the other unindicted co-conspirator. Not only that, but Tucker Carlson, set aside all of that. Tucker Carlson just goes to gigantic leaps here. He says that since the government had infiltrated the organizations involved, that they also, because of the infiltration, in order to monitor their activities, because, of course, in the weeks and months leading up to January 6th, there was a lot of talk on different online forums, Gab, Parler, Facebook, these different groups, Reddit, where they got together and they started openly talking about this. The FBI had also previously considered a lot of these right-wing groups a potential threat. And so, of course, the FBI and law enforcement will go and infiltrate these groups to monitor that. But no, Tucker Carlson says, well, I mean, if they infiltrated the group, then they must have planned the January 6th insurrection because they're part of the infiltration group with no evidence whatsoever. Gigantic leap, monstrous leap, jumping over a chasm. Imagine if you applied that to other groups. And look, we've got historical precedent, right, of the FBI infiltrating left-wing groups. Could you imagine Tucker Carlson defending a left-wing group? That, I don't know, like what kind of terrorism does left-wing groups do, right? Free animals from a factory farm. Basically, violate agriculture gag laws to try to, show what actually happens inside of slaughterhouses and things like that. Now imagine Tucker Carlson, saying, "Oh, I can't believe the FBI would infiltrate this group." I mean, they must have been the ones that were trying to free the animals. It's a true story. True story, because they were part of it. No, it's ridiculous. But it's already worked. And understand, this is what Carlson does, and this is why he's so good at what he does. Because he makes these leaps, but couches it in the, I'm just asking questions. What? Anything is possible. This is definitely possible. Look at these different threads that I've decided to, tie together very, very nicely. And already, again, is it enough? No, but it's enough to give the audience that watches Tucker Carlson exactly what they want. And that is to say, aha! I knew it wasn't us. I knew it wasn't MAGA. No, us patriots would never do something like that. No, FBI, deep state, secret antifa. They're the ones. They're the bad ones. We're the good ones. And look, to show the effectiveness of propaganda, already gigantic figures on the right wing have repeated this talking point. Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the conservative outlet, the Washington Examiner, have all posted this. They're all talking about this, and they're saying, aha, we got them. Deep state, the FBI, planned the Capitol riots. We knew it. We knew it. It almost seems like it's coordinated in some weird way. And now you're going to have a significant chunk of people, because these are influencers online in the right, that are now going to believe the FBI planned and executed, along with secret antifa or whatever conspiracies they'd love to mix up with this, that they're the ones who planned and invaded the Capitol building in an effort to make Donald Trump look bad. This is total insanity. I mean, so you're saying, by the way, if you follow the logic, which they obviously don't, but you're saying that all the people, or almost all the people at the Stop the Steal rally, were Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, and all these others, Madison Cawthorn, were all on tape saying, yeah, we're going to fight. We're going to march down Pennsylvania Avenue. We're going to stop the steal. We're going to stop the count. Oh, you're saying that entire crowd was filled with FBI spooks and secret Antifa. Well, then where's the MAGA crowd? Where was the MAGA crowd? Oh, I know. They stayed home because they were too smart. Too smart to get caught up in this. Sure. By the way, those same people were planning on Facebook, Parler, and Gab. And they were caught. Again, this only makes sense if you were willing to contort yourself into a pretzel. It's the mother of conspiracies. Pretzel logic to the extreme. Willful ignorance. Conservatives. Is this what you meant by personal responsibility? I know. They never believed in it. Of course not. But seriously, though, it's not the deep state. It's not the FBI, who traditionally, by the way, the FBI has a storied history of going after leftist movements with the gusto that the CIA uses to go after leftist leaders in South America and in other places. So, and in fact, that's pretty much the FBI's job, is to take down leftist movements across the country. But instead, and I'm not saying this is a leftist movement, but at this point, the right wing has gotten so unhinged and so dangerous that the FBI finally had to admit, all right, we got a little bit of a problem here. Big problem, actually. Why the Republicans don't want to investigate this, by the way. I mean, you would think that if they actually thought that, oh my God, what if it was deep state infiltration, that they would want to, but they know. People in Congress that blocked the January 6th commission, they know the truth. They know it was MAGA. They know it was the chuds. They know the truth. Tucker Carlson is absolutely lying his ass off. Just like he does every single night. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.